I'm going to make an assumption that you are a professional. And I don't care if you work in HR or marketing, product management, IT, finance, supply chain, doesn't matter. I'm going to assume that you're a professional that uses Excel to analyze data, and you would like to have more impact at work through the application of business analysis techniques. In this video, I am going to offer you what I have found to be the single most fundamental skill in all of business analysis, something that you can easily do in Excel. I'm also going to make an assumption that you're not going to believe me automatically. So what I'm going to do is show you a Facebook job description for a data scientist where it basically says, look, we would like our data scientists to be able to do this very same fundamental business analysis skill. After that, what I'm going to do is then show you, okay, cool. Once we've agreed that that's a fundamental business analysis skill, we're going to show you how YouTube implements it in their analytics, in their dashboards. And then lastly, I'm going to tell you how you can learn how to do this yourself quickly and easily. So here it is. Are you ready for it? 1, every business needs to be quantified in measurements: sales, expenses, conversion rates, attrition rates, whatever it might be. You need to characterize what's going on in the business in a number. And these things are typically called metrics or measurements, KPIs, and OKRs. Doesn't matter what you call them. It's just the simple idea that an important aspect of the executing business can be quantified as a number. Okay, that's the first part. Second part is that the fundamental skill in business analysis is not only understanding that first part and helping to craft those, but then monitoring and analyzing those numbers, metrics, KPIs, OKRs, measurements over time. That is the fundamental skill in business analysis. You can learn how to do effective, rigorous analyses of these business numbers over time using just trusty old Excel. Nothing fancy, no VBA code, no DAX code, just a simple table of data and a simple chart. And like I said, I don't expect you to believe me. So let's go ahead and head over to Facebook and show you that they expect their data scientists to be able to do what I just described. So what I have up here in my browser right now is a real life data scientist job description at Facebook. Well, this has a lot of verbiage in it, which what you would expect for a job description at Facebook. What's germane to this particular video is this passage right here: monitoring key product metrics, understanding root causes of changes in metrics, building and analyzing dashboards and reports, and lastly, evaluating and defining metrics. And by the way, this verbiage right here is not unique to this job description. I have a video on my channel where I analyze 25 data scientist job descriptions at Facebook's for roles and responsibilities and skills. This verbiage you see here shows up in a lot of job descriptions at Facebook. So what does this tell us? It tells us that this idea that a fundamental set of skills in business analysis are: 1, defining the business as a metric, as a measurement, as an OKR, as a KPI. That's a critical skill for business analysis. You've got to be able to quantify the business as a number. That's the first aspect. The second aspect is that you need to be able to monitor and analyze this metric, these metrics, these measurements over time. That is a fundamental skill of business analysis. And it's so important that multiple job descriptions at Facebook for data scientists have this as a required skill. So what this tells you is that if you want to up-level your business analysis game, you need to learn how to work with business measurements, to understand what they are, how they fluctuate over time, and most importantly, how to rigorously analyze them. So this is where I'm hoping you're at right now at this point in the video. I've asserted something about the fundamental nature of conducting business analysis, and I said, hey, don't believe me, let's go check out what Facebook says. Facebook has confirmed what I've asserted, and you're like, okay, all right, maybe Dave's got something going on here. So I know I need to be able to quantify the business as a metric, as a KPI, as a measurement, an OKR, and I need to be able to analyze it over time. That part is clear. But then you might be thinking, and logically so, hey, Dave, how do I do this? And as we just saw in the Facebook job description, what you typically do is you use a dashboard to do this. And let me show you what I mean with an example from, surprisingly enough, YouTube. So what we have here is an actual YouTube analytics dashboard for one of my videos from Excel to machine learning, no, really, on my YouTube channel. This is real data at the time of this recording. But the data is not really what's important. What's really important is the dashboard itself. Notice what's going on here. First and foremost, I would argue, based on my experience, that YouTube's analytics are the way things should be done. Because if you're familiar at all with dashboards, you might be thinking to yourself, geez, this seems pretty plain. This seems kind of Spartan. What's going on here? The dashboards that I've seen are like all colorful with like donut charts and all kinds of craziness going on. And I would say, yeah, you're right. That's typically what you see in a lot of dashboards, and they're all wrong. If you're trying to conduct business analysis, YouTube is a perfect example of how your analytics dashboards should be built. Because notice this, the primary visualization, the primary way that data is communicated, the analytics are communicated to you, is via a line chart, where you have on the x-axis along the horizontal time, and on the y-axis or the vertical, you have some sort of metric, some sort of measurement, some sort of KPI, some sort of OKR. And this is the default visualization. Now, granted, you will see things like bar charts, like you'll see a bar chart right here, and you got some bar charts right here. But overwhelmingly, the default way that data is communicated to you in YouTube Analytics is via line charts. And notice how this embodies exactly what I've argued is the fundamental skill of business analysis. One, you need to quantify the business as some sort of measurement, some sort of number. And then two, you need to be able to track it and analyze it over time. And that's exactly what YouTube Analytics does. And you can see here, I've got the views for this particular video, line chart. If I click on the watch time, line chart. If I click on subscribers, line chart. I'm not going to click on revenue because I've hidden it for particular reasons, but trust me, it's a line chart as well. So this tells you a lot about what's going on. YouTube is a very big company and they've been in business for a long time and they deal with a lot of data. So it should tell you something when their default dashboards are all line charts. They all embody this fundamental idea of business analysis. You can see how powerful this is. The line chart in of itself is the single best way to analyze the business, because it taps into the human brain. We are visual creatures, and our brains are optimized to do visual pattern recognition. And in the business analysis space, nothing taps into the brain's power better than the line chart. For example, look at this right here. If you're not familiar with YouTube Analytics, this gray band right here that you see that I'm kind of hovering over shows you what the range of typical views are for videos on my channel. And what you can see here is this blue line, which is the views for this particular video. And what quickly jumps out at you is, even if I didn't hover over it and you got that pop-up, you'd be like, geez, Dave, your other videos kind of stink compared to this one, which would be a fair criticism. But notice how easily you can say, oh yeah, this line kind of fluctuates and goes up here, this gray line, but this blue line really jumps out at you. You really understand what's going on. The whole point of me bringing this up is simply this. The best way to perform fundamental, rigorous business analysis is to use a line chart, because it encompasses those two ideas I've been repeating over and over again, which I'm not going to repeat this particular time because I will probably repeat it before this video is over. This is what you need to analyze the business in a fundamental way. YouTube knows it. They've been doing it for years this way. And if you build dashboards, hopefully you're learning something from all of this, right? Yeah, certain types of visualizations are useful, but the primary data visualization should be some form of a line chart for the reasons I just described. Checkpoint time. This is where I'm hoping that you're at this stage of the video. One, that you agree with me that the fundamental skills of business analysis are the ability to quantify the business as some sort of metric, measurement, OKR, KPI, whatever, some sort of number. And then secondarily, that you can track that number and analyze it over time. And that the single best way to do that, as exemplified by YouTube's analytics and YouTube's dashboards, is with a line chart. Now, not surprisingly, I've got some more value to add here, because all those things remain true, and you can use Excel to actually improve upon the plain old line chart that we saw, which is obviously pretty powerful, or why would YouTube Analytics depend upon it so much? But you can improve upon it with Excel and actually conduct really sophisticated analyses. And let me show you what I mean by this. I'm obviously in Excel, and what you can see here is a line chart, but it's also not a line chart at the same time. And let me explain to you a hypothetical scenario, and let me show you why this particular chart right here is a fundamental skill for any professional interested in business analysis. Okay, so here, let me frame up the scenario. So let's say there's a company called WidgetGo, and they sell widgets. Doesn't really matter what it is, it's a widget. And like most companies, most large companies anyway, they have an e-commerce website where people can get online, go to the website, shop around their product catalog, and ideally buy stuff, right? So they have an e-commerce site and they sell stuff. When you have a certain percentage of people come into your website and then a smaller percentage of people buy something, that's what's known as the conversion rate. And obviously, conversion rate in e-commerce is a big, big deal. And what you can see here is a line chart. Ignore this gray stuff here for a second. What we've got is a line chart that shows the monthly website conversion rate for Widgetco's e-commerce site in 2017 and in 2018. It's split up into two groups, but it's a line chart. You can see it, line chart. So let's say that Widgetco is interested in improving the conversion rate of their e-commerce website, which is not surprisingly. They looked at 2017 numbers and they're like, look, we can do better. So they hire a hotshot product manager from Amazon, let's say. And her name is Carissa, let's say. And Carissa comes in to Widgetco and she is the lead product manager for the e-commerce site. And her number one goal, her mission is to improve the conversion rate. And let's say that Carissa starts in January of 2018, and she starts leading the team, implementing a bunch of changes, culminating in this green dot right here in November of 2018. And let's assume, like many companies in the United States and around the world for that matter, that they sell a lot around Black Friday or Cyber Monday, which is typically November of each year. And Carissa says, aha, this data point right here proves that I've been successful. I have taken over the team, I've implemented a bunch of changes, and I've driven the conversion rate up. And this shows that I deserve a promotion, a bonus, more stock, whatever it might be. Let's say that her boss, Carissa's boss, comes to you and says, does Carissa's claims have any merit? Can you analyze the data and tell me whether or not I should really give Carissa her promotion, her stock, her bonus, whatever it might be? And you say, all right, great. I'm going to use a mighty process behavior chart. This is what this is known as, a process behavior chart, which is a very specialized form of a line chart to analyze the data to see whether or not Carissa's claim has any merit. So what you do is you create your chart like this and you use these gray dotted lines to conduct a statistical analysis. Now, don't panic. Don't panic. This is wildly simple, and I will show you in a second. I'll scroll over and you can see the calculations that are used to create this chart. They are wildly simple, but notice how powerful this is. What this chart shows us is this green dot right here, right? This green dot right here, based on what was going on in 2017, before Carissa took over, before she was hired, before she changed things, based on what was going on in 2017, seeing a conversion rate this high is statistically unlikely. It's very unlikely. Ergo, a very plausible explanation is that Carissa did a good job. She actually changed things and she drove up the conversion rate in a statistically significant way. So then you go back to Carissa's boss and you say, yes, based on the data, the performance that we've seen is unlikely to have happened because of any other reason than Carissa's changes to the website. And then Carissa gets her bonus or promotion or stock, whatever it might be, and everybody's happy. This is the power of the process behavior chart. And notice how this chart and that scenario that I just talked about incorporates all of the aspects of the Facebook data scientist job description that we saw earlier. Monitoring metrics over time, you're analyzing them, you're understanding the changes in them. This is the heart of business analysis, and you can do all of this in Excel. And as promised, let's go ahead and scroll over so you can see the actual calculations here. Now you can see here I've got 24 data points, which are the monthly conversion rates. And I've broken them up into two groups, as you can see with this blank line in the middle. And here are the calculations. Notice all these calculations that is used to build this chart. Wildly simple. Let me just click on one and show you what I mean. We just click right here and we say, look at the formula. This is the formula right here for calculating one of these statistical gray lines over here that allows you to conduct the analysis that I just described. The process behavior chart is the single most useful business analysis tool that I have found in my 10 years of doing hands-on analytics. And this shows you why. Using simple basic Excel calculations and a simple Excel chart, you can conduct sophisticated business analyses without worrying about any fancy math or any complicated formulas. You can use these charts to do the analyses that I just described, and they are also the single best thing to put on your dashboards. Imagine if you saw something like this on the YouTube analytics dashboard. How awesome would that be? Then you could say, hey, YouTube, have I increased my views in a statistically significant way? How awesome would that be? Last checkpoint. Here's where I'm hoping that you're at. Dave, wow, I can do those kinds of sophisticated business analyses using a simple chart in Excel that's built from simple calculations. How do I learn how to do that? Well, not surprisingly, I've got an online course from Dave on Data that can teach you everything that you need to know to conduct the analyses that I just described using the mighty process behavior chart. What you see here in my browser is the web page for my online course, Introduction to Business Analysis with Excel. Not surprisingly, this is the Dave on Data course that teaches you how to build and analyze your data using the mighty process behavior chart, which allows you, as we saw, to conduct rigorous analyses of your business very easily in Excel with simple calculations and a very simple data visualization that also, by the way, allows you to easily communicate your results to business stakeholders and management. This is a webinar, so obviously I'm trying to sell you on the idea that this course could be beneficial to you in helping you achieve your career goals. However, I just want you to know that at Dave on Data, I only want you to buy an online course if it's right for you, if it takes you where you need to go in terms of your career goals. And there are 3 ways I want to make sure that that happens for you as a potential Dave on Data student. First up, you'll notice that in the course curriculum part of the webpage, you'll see these little preview buttons. What these are literally free access to the associated lesson. And I do this so that you can get a flavor for how I teach and whether or not the content is going to work for you and your career goals. So for example, you could totally watch this video right here. It's free, it's a preview, it's on histograms. And I show you how to build and use histograms inside of Excel to analyze your business data. And you might watch it and say, look, that's great. I don't like the way Dave teaches. That was a useful piece of information. And you'll go off and build histograms. That's all well and good. And I would be totally happy with that. But if you say, I like the way that Dave teaches and or what he's covering is going to be useful to me, the second way that I want to make sure that this class is right for you is that it is comprehensive. So if you scroll down here all the way through the curriculum, you'll notice there's a lot of stuff in the course. It is more than 5 hours worth of videos to teach you how to use data, clean the data, analyze the data with the process behavior chart to do the kinds of things that you saw earlier. There's also 7 hands-on labs. You can see your lab 7 covers how you deal with seasonality in your data, which is pretty cool. You can actually deal with that in your process behavior chart and allow you to conduct rigorous analyses, even if, for example, you make most of your sales at the end of the year. Lastly, this one's probably most important, it's the refund policy. You can buy my courses within 30 days. If you don't like it for whatever reason, you just drop me an email and say, hey, Dave, I want a refund. I say, okay, cool, give you a refund. I don't even check to see how much of the course you've taken. It doesn't matter. Not that I would like you to do this, but you could certainly buy the course, do it in 28 days, let's say, drop me an email and say, hey, Dave, I want a refund. This course isn't working out for me. I won't even check your progress. I'll just click the refund button. I want this class to work for you so much. I'm literally giving you the opportunity to take it for completely free if you want. Please don't do that, but you see what I'm trying to get at here. I want to make sure that this is right for you. Here's a few things, right? If I haven't lost you, if you're still with me, if you're still potentially interested in this online course, there will be a link below this video in the description that you can click and it will take you to this particular page. Now, one last thing I do want to cover here real quick is the FAQs, the frequently asked questions. So the most frequently asked question is, hey, Dave, how much does the course cost? This course is priced at $149 US plus applicable taxes, or you can purchase it on a monthly payment plan for 2 monthly payments back to back of $77 each. Now, because you've spent so much time in this video, you've endured me talking at you, waving my hands at you, doing wild facial features, I want to give you a special offer. So if you decide that the class is right for you and you decide to purchase it, you can just click the link below in the video description, head over to the site, and then type in coupon code YouTube, all caps, YOUTUBE, all capital letters, and that will give you a 20% discount. So that will save you almost $50 off the price of the course. And by the way, that discount also applies to the 2-month payment plan if you would like. So the next most frequently asked question is this: how long do I have to complete the course? And the answer is, when you purchase a Dave on Data course, you get lifetime access to the materials. And that includes any updates or refreshes that I might do to the course later on. For example, I might add a forecasting section to the course. You would get access to that automatically. I'd just send you an email and say, hey, there's new content in the course. You can go ahead and take a look at it. So you have lifetime access. So next up, people ask, hey, do I need to know a lot of math? What if I don't remember my university math courses, or maybe I didn't take that many at all? And the answer is, nope, you don't need to worry about it. This course is designed for any professional. And you saw in the Excel workbook how easy the calculations are. You know that I'm not making this up. The math is super, super simple. Anybody can do it. Next up, do I need to be an expert in Excel to take this course? Do I need to be a pivot table wizard and know formulas and functions and VBA and all that kind of stuff? Nope, absolutely not. All you need is basic Excel skills. Essentially, if you know how to work with a table of data and can click around and create a chart in Excel, you're golden. You're good to go. That's all you need. The Excel tooling isn't that important to the process behavior chart process. So what you spend most of your time in the course learning is actually how to do business analysis. Very little of it has to do with the mechanics of working with Excel. Now, lastly, and this isn't in the frequently asked questions, but it is worthy of mentioning, I answer any and all student questions promptly. I get an email every time a student asks a question inside the online course platform. I get an email, or you can send me an email directly from the online course platform as well with a question. And I answer all these questions promptly. I get the little notification on my phone, and maybe I'm sitting in front of Netflix, doesn't matter. I get up, go to the computer, answer the question. You can see this if you enroll in the course. Now, this is what's really cool though. If you take that and marry it up with this, you get lifetime access to me. As you might imagine, I only answer questions that are related to the course. So for example, if you buy this course and then ask me a question about machine learning, if you're not enrolled in my machine learning course, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to answer that question. However, lifetime access to me to answer any and all questions you have regarding applying the Mighty Process Behavior Chart to your business analysis scenario. Okay, so that's it for this webinar video. If you have any questions, feel free to use the comments below this video, or you can click the course link in the description below this video, where you'll go to this page and you can find how you can contact me via email with any questions that you might have. Introduction to Business Analysis with Excel. You've got this if you want it. Any professional can do it. And until next time, please stay healthy, and I wish you very happy data sleuthing.